Hi, friends. Welcome to this podcast. With me, the authors of Figure It Out are there, Mr. Bharat Kumar and Mr. Sriram Kishore. I'm really impressed by this beautiful book called The Figure It Out. This book is an unconventional business strategy book. This book is not in retire. Anyone or any company has to sponsor minimum 50 copies, and with their branding, the books are available. I'm fortunate and privileged to have 50 copies with me, which I am giving to my friends and also enabling and allowing the participants to understand this book and also to attend the workshop. We already have done one workshop on this, figure it out. So we are starting this series of this podcast, of course, video cast also on the topics of the figure it out. So I invite Mr. Bharat Kumar and Sriram Kishore to this session and series of these sessions. So
Thanks,
welcome
Venu.
Bharat, Sriram. Yeah. So I have gone through some of the chapters, Mr. Bharat, and the first chapter is definitely not only interesting but also inspiring, also thought provoking, and I started implementing in my life. That is the beauty of the book because 50 business strategies, each chapter contains of 4 pages and easy to read with infographics and the case studies, and there's a QR code where we can get into the app and do a lot of self-assessment test and more information. And really definitely very unique, and definitely I have not seen a book like this. And then exit trainer, this applies in everywhere in life. It applies in relationship, it applies in a client, it applies in a business, it applies everywhere. Doesn't matter when to enter, but the right time to exit. Even in investment, the right time to exit. So many areas this applies. So I want to know from the authors, what do you mean by exit planner? It's over to you, Mr. Bharat and Sriram.
Thanks, Venu garu. We've all been generally, at least the current ecosystem in India, we've been told to start companies. We've been told to become an entrepreneur without much of knowledge about either the financial background, how we need to manage our finances, how we need to raise investment. ఏమీ తెలియకుండా we just people want to start. The only mantra that which can actually help them in terms of saving their career, saving their life when they're entering an entrepreneurship is try to fix a milestone of when to exit, whether it is successful or a failure one, so that you really understand what should be taken, what should not be taken. Um, so Amazon does ఈ ఎగ్జిట్ ప్రణర్ అన్నది it's like a simple decision making లాగా చూడొచ్చు మీరు. So in Amazon follows a very interesting methodology of taking decisions. So there are two kinds of decision which Amazon makes. One is called reversible decision, the other one is called irreversible decisions. So the time that they spend to take a decision, if that can be reversible, let's say నేను ఈరోజు ఒక ల్యాప్టాప్ తీసుకున్నాను, I just want to change it, I can flip it over. I really don't need to spend a lot of time understanding it. Let us say if I'm making a very strategic decision which is going to affect my entire career, which is going to have a significant effort, those are the items where they spend a lot of time and try to make relatively a right decision. Okay, so similar is the case, how I see for an exitpreneur as well, where you really need to understand uh, when to exit, as you rightly mentioned, either in your venture or in your career to move on, or in your relationship to get to that next stage. Okay. Over to Ram, probably if you want to add some
Yeah,
views.
thank you. Thank you for inviting to the podcast. Yeah, quite interesting to way getting on launched on a new platform like this, StreamYard. Uh, to begin with, exitpreneur, I think every entrepreneur who begins an entity, his fundamental interest is all about to maximize the returns. In an effort to maximize focus and enjoy these returns, he fundamentally works in multiple ways, strategizes, innovates, does a lot of things. But there is also an option which can actually help him to maximize the returns by exiting the enterprise, maybe through a very good buy or a very good merger and acquisition, or a stake that he can actually sell and enjoy that particular maximizing pattern in which he actually wishes for. But in general, we see exiting is one of the most complex decisions that happens either in terms of professional relations or personal relations, and especially with an entrepreneur, everything is so personal with the entity. He saying bye to a to a current entity and move on to something new is a rarity. So he finds very difficult to quit because of a largely personal affiliation to the entity he has been working for so long. And and globally, there have been multiple instances where for a very good price tag, they failed to understand the value of it, and they decided to not go by the decision to sell off the enterprise, and later they themselves were being found been bought out for a very minimal what is a minimal money. So when you don't know when to exit, I think uh, it's the key importance is out there. Rather
Thank
as
you.
Bharat was, we have a lot of
Thank you,
focus
Ram. Yeah.
on enterprise.
Thank you, Bharat, and thank you, Ram. So it also reminds me of sunk cost fallacy. So yeah, so it's like uh, based on the past investments and the past investments of time and energy and resources, even though if it is not getting the benefits in the future, continuing that is called sunk cost fallacy. It's though both are not same, but exiting in a right time is definitely a very wise thing that's profitable, and also it will also prevent further losses also. We may not be able to book the profit of the investment if we don't exit at the right time. So and the information and the infographics and the in simple points, that's really really excellent. And thank you so much, my dear friends. We'll come out with one more strategy in next series. And to get this figure it out book, the numbers are given below, and also you can also explore the website given in the below scrolling. So people who would like to get the book or sponsor the book of 50 copies with your branding instead of diaries, instead of something else, you can also gift it on the new year. And it's definitely a handy book to read and to really understand the strategy in a simplest way and to implement business. Thank you so much. See you in the next episode. Namaste.